Welcome to SB 408D Entrepreneurship. My name is Felicia Frida Aqua, and I'll be taking you through this unit, Small Business Finance, which is Unit 6. Specifically, we're going to discuss or look at short-term business finances. And by the end of this session, you should be able to mention the various sources of short-term finance and evaluate some of the sources of short-term financing in them. Like we spoke about in the earlier session, that when we're looking at financing sources which are usually less than a year, then we're looking at them as what short-term finances. And so it could be a loan or a credit facility, which is what maturing under a year or a year at most. And so saying that credit worthiness is a prerequisite for obtaining short-term loans. Yes, some people, you borrow money and you don't pay back. You are not making yourself credit worthy. People will not want to give you short-term loans in them. So some of the characteristics or things that people look out for is what character. So if you are always found of borrowing, you don't pay back, you are defaulting such terms and conditions, people would always see you as a very risky person and not want to give you money. And so most small businesses are not even able to get because that character thing is not there. Capacity, you should be able to pay back that money. Sometimes they may look at your bank statements, they realize that even the way you're transacting your businesses, the amount of money you are making, there's no way you can pay back that loan. And so they may sometimes want to then look out for other collateral or something which they think they can use to offset it. If they don't have it, then they'll tell you that you don't have the capacity to pay back that loan. As such, they may just reject you as well. Circumstances, every financing or loan or debt, it comes with its own terms and conditions. And sometimes they'll check whether you can abide by them and be able to honor those terms and conditions. Insurance cover is also another insurance cover, which is the cover of insurable risk, which is taken out by the borrower. And sometimes people may want to go in for guarantees that just in case you can't pay for it, someone should be able to pay for it. And so these are things that often happens or is looked at when we're looking out for the credit worthiness of people. Today or in other literature, you may also see what we call the 5 C's, where you may see things like what do you call it, collateral and things also being represented in there. So these are some of the 5 key considerations you need to look out for when you're looking out for the credit worthiness, which is going to warrant you being able to obtain the short-term finance or not. So let's see some of the short-term financing sources. One is what we call the bank overdraft. So bank overdraft, if you're having a savings account, you may not be able to enjoy from it. So bank overdraft is basically an agreement made between the customer and the bank to overdraw on a current account up to an agreed limit. So like I made mention earlier, if you have a savings account, you can't benefit from a bank overdraft. But those who have current accounts, they are able to do a bank overdraft. So a bank may tell you that you can withdraw up to, let's say, 200 cedis or 300 cedis more than what you have in your account. So I go to the ATM, maybe I need like 500 cedis, I have just 200 cedis in my account. I can just be allowed to go beyond that 200 I have and then take 500, and that 300 cedis becomes overdraft. So the interest is calculated on the level or balance of the overdraft on a daily basis. So that is like a soft loan to you. So every day they're going to charge the percentage on the amount you have overdrawn and not the full amount you took out. And another source of short-term financing is factoring, which is actually raising funds on the security of one's debt, and the cash is received earlier than the company would have waited to for their debtors to pay. Factoring is one smart way of dealing with your debtors and your debt. So you can imagine a situation where, just say you are what do you call it, your father-in-law comes to buy something from you and then the person can't pay, and before you realize there's all this interquire and all those things. Sometimes factoring is one key way to go about it. So you can sell your debt to a factor house, and usually when you sell your debt to them, they would evaluate and see that, okay, so this Kweku Menu is owing you X amount of money. Out of this X amount of money, it looks like Kweku Menu will be able to pay you roughly maybe X minus 20 or something. Then they'll say that, okay, we'll be able to give you this amount of money. So Kwekumenu is owing you 500 cedis. And then they checked the credit weighting of Kwekumenu and all those things, and how much is also going to, they're also going to incur to go and what, take out this money from Kwekumenu. They may then tell you that, oh, we'll give you 400 cedis instead of the 500. That 100 cedis is what, our commission. And so for the factor houses, if you would have spent like 6 months going to chase Kwekumenu, they are going to do that job of chasing Kwekumenu and taking the 500 cedis, and then they would have already what, paid you your 400. At least it's better than you what, using a lot of time to chase Kwekumenu, who may not even pay you back the money. And so factoring is all about what, selling one's debt to receive what, your money earlier, and usually pay a little bit of commission to the one who is providing you with the service. And it's a very convenient source of short-term finance, especially when you are managing your working capital. Other sources of short-term finance includes trade credit. And when it comes to trade credit, we want to focus on the firm's purchases of what, goods and services without paying for cash immediately. So you may, your working capital, which is things you need for your day-to-day running of your business, sometimes you may not have all the amounts of money you need, and sometimes you can't lock all of it in your what, raw materials or your purchases of goods and services. And so what you can also do is to use a trade credit, where you delay the payment of cash for what, the goods and services in there. And you could do the same for your customers as well. So to sum up, we've looked at some short terms of financing, where we're looking at activities or getting money which is a year or less, and we're saying that usually those are used to what, run our day-to-day operations of the business. Thank you.